Hello guys, and this will be the very last episode of the playlist. This is how you import everything into the game, and you do, we need to do thickness also. We did textures last time, we did the texturing and exporting and converting it into the game format. Now we have to organize everything, and we also have to add thickness to the clothing. Now let's go into our 3D folder in Blender, of course, and import. I think it was this one. Texturing full. No, it is not. We need to remove the belt because it's exploded version. We need non-exploded versions here. So I will find non-exploded version. It was low hoodie belt, I believe. If you don't know if that's the one, you just select everything and you'll know by the UVs. This is the one. We check for duplicates. Necklace is wrong. That's not the right necklace. We need to import the necklace. See, it's this one. We also want to do a shade smooth on nearly everything except of this. But we'll split it, don't worry. Can we do shade auto smooth? Will it work? Not entirely. I think this is good. Okay, everything looks fine. And you can also adjust the thing here. So you click O to go into proportional editing, and you can do G, and you can just move it out a bit, just so we sort the clipping out. There will be clipping nonetheless, so don't spend way too much time here. Just it's bound to clip anyways, so it's just the way it is. We'll fix it in Outfit Studio later. But now this is just the rough variant of it. If you don't like it this way, you can also tuck it in. Maybe the results would be better if I just tucked it in. I believe the results would be 10 times better. But it is what it is. Maybe I should tuck it in. But I'm worried that it will not be good. Here we go. And like this. I'm telling you, don't spend too much time, and I'm spending too much time, but that's me. That is me. Okay, one more thing. For example, if you just click on one thing and you move it, it will move only one object. But if you select both objects and you go into edit mode, it will move both of those objects. So you can do stuff like this. But we need to do thickness. I didn't forget about it, don't worry. Okay, so let's first hide the things we don't need thickness on. We don't need it on this. We will need it on this. Let's start with the belts. Belts already have it, but the hood doesn't. We need to separate the hood from the bottom part, because in Skyrim you can equip helmet, and everything that is up here would be helmet slot. So hood would be helmet slot. It needs to be separate object entirely. So let's add some thickness to it. You can also remove these inside parts if you want. So, but I don't know if that's pretty smart thing to do. Let's just add solidify to it. So you go into add modifiers, you go into solidify, and you see that this thing pops up just like last time. Even thickness, only rim, and you push it inside till you see the size that you like. If you can't see well, there's this little button you can click, and you click edit mode, of course, and you see a bit better how deep it is. I'm happy with this. And only rim. I told you why. Because we don't need extra geometry inside. But now I need to show you one more thing. If you go into shading and you go into and you go into 3D, and we find the textures. They were in tutorial text. I have it under render, but you can use game ones. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's use game ones because you'll use them too. And I think this is from the hood, and I put it up. I just want to show you something that you need to be careful about. And now we go to modeling again, and you hold Z and you push down material preview and you click yes, and you get something like this. This is not the final result, but do you see the texture, how nice it looks? But in here it's broken, and it's because we added topology after we did UV. This is called UV stretching, so we need to sort that out. So you select, you go into faces here, and you find a middle ground, something like this. You hold Alt left click, so you select the entire loop. You do U, unwrap, and now it's going to be messy. So you'll see why it's going to be a bit messy, because it's aligned like this. So you see it has black parts, it has white parts. You see this part here, it's obviously this part, and now the part next to it will be half white, half black. You see it here, and so on. So we need to make sure that we put it into black spot. And now if you can do it while it's still big size, it's good, but most of us can't. So what we'll do, we need to add a bit of loops. So you can hide the shemag, we don't need it now. You do a loop here. I don't know, in these non-visible places. Maybe we can do it here instead, actually. Somewhere here, I don't know, where people won't see it. If you do it exactly in the middle, it might be noticeable, so I always do it on the sides. So I did mark seams, and now I'll just unwrap again. And you get something like this. And you can scale it down, of course, even without doing all of this. So we want to do it like this, maybe. You do L, we need to turn off proportional editing. And you do this one, I don't know, here, you just move it. And you see now it's sorted out. So I just moved it into these islands that are black. That's what is very important. That's why I told you, but if you don't import this little picture here, there's no way to know if you did it good or bad. You'll find out in game, and then it's a bit painful to go all the way back. Let's continue on. So now let's do shemag. I want to separate shemag from the rest, because shemag and necklace, they'll go on amulet slot in Skyrim. So when people import, I mean, we can use hood and shemag in the same one. It doesn't really matter. You can use shemag and necklace as amulet slot. You know, that slot 35 you put around your neck. Actually, let's put it, but you cannot join them. You can split them, but you cannot join them. Because if I join shemag with the hood, we can only use hood texture or shemag texture. And that if I use shemag texture, hood will be broken and the other way around. So that's why we need to keep them separate. But now let's go into shading again. And let's see, do they use the same one? I don't think they do. Let's delete this. And it's shirt now. So where's the shirt? This is the shirt for me. I'm talking about diffuse. You can do normal map too if you want to. It's completely up to you. I'm not getting into that. Let's go modeling. And material preview again. Let's see. We cannot see anything yet because it's still very thin. You can do solidify on both of these objects. I will do shemag first. Tab. I don't know, you don't want it to be way too big, because if it's way too big, it's going to pierce through the things it shouldn't pierce through. Something like this, maybe. No, it's not good. Direction is not good, I think. Oh, it is actually good. Double check everything just in case, because we only need rim, so... Okay, it's from the inside part. I'm checking if you see this thing here, you see how the faces are missing. Sometimes it can be on the outside and that looks horrible. You see like up here, but... Oh no, it's not, it's good here too. Apply. And now we have to do the exact same thing on all of this, but you see how this is a bit bigger. So we're gonna do it in a bit lazier way. You just scale it down until it's inside of this and you're good. You see how it's going to be a bit blurrier, but it still represents the thickness we want. Now let's go down here, solidify again, only rim, even thickness, and push it inside, maybe like this. It's obviously leather, you don't want it to be way too thin and not way too thick either. Okay, and now we need to unwrap it, and it's too big. You see how it's way too big? I can even do this if I want, and it's going to be okay. But it's all up to you, as I said. See, even this looks nice, I told you. But don't forget that the shirt has lower part too, you see? And that part also needs to fit inside of this. But you know, when you apply grayscale and stuff, you remember how we have baked shadows into our diffuse map, but DDS format. So it has like black parts here, and here it has folds. Those folds will also apply on this, so it's a bit difficult to always make it perfect. So you always depend on luck too. Let's hide everything that's done. We obviously don't need, it would make no sense to add solidify to the chains when it's already fully 3D. It's not fake. And okay, let's go into shading, remove this, and let's add pens. These are the pens, and you want to connect them like this. And you go into modeling, and in modeling we do the same thing. It's just rinse and repeat. You can click this so you see it a bit better, and now you move thickness inside. Also, I need to remind myself, oh no, I made a mistake. I didn't click only rim. If I don't do that, I'm in trouble later on. And I'll also show you one more thing, but after we do this. So now obviously we just need to scale it down, fit it in here somewhere. You can even do it like this. You can make it very small. The smaller you make it, the blurrier this will look. But you cannot make it way too big either, because if it's way too big, it will catch shadows that you don't want. You know, those ambient shadows, fake ones. Everything is fake in modeling, guys. Remember that. Now, let's unhide everything. So I clicked Alt-H, and now I want to see if, you know, when you do solidify, sometimes you flip it the other way around. Normals get flipped without you knowing, and when you find out, it's too late. So always go here, face orientation, just see that everything is blue. This is red because we see inside part from here, but it's going to be double faced, so it's not a problem. And now we're done with this. So what you want to do is you want to go File, Import, OBJ. Oh, let me double check something still. We need to make sure everything is its separate object. So hood is separate, that's true. This is separate, it's true. I'm just clicking H to hide everything that is separate. You see, if you want, this is completely up to you. I will put belts together with the pens. So when people equip pens, they will equip belt too. And I told you I will do also that thing. Okay, I'll show you how you can do this. I forgot to tell you this. I promised that I will, but I didn't do it. Look at this. What you can do is you can select, I don't know, this face, and you do Shift D and you push it out. And then you do S, you just do it like this. We make it manually, you know. There's no need for us to bother ourselves with overcomplicating things, going all the way back, and people don't even notice these things. So you want to make one, and you just extrude it, extrude it, extrude it till it's around here. It doesn't even have to touch. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not important now. And you want to go all the way like this. And now we want to separate it, and we want it to have some, you don't want it to be like this, right? That would look really bad. We can also solidify it if you want. I mean, subdivision surface, add subdivision surface to it. But what it happens is it rounds the edges here too. But look at this, if you Alt and left click here, here, and here, and here, while you have edge selected, you do Shift E, you can sharpen these edges. So we sharpen only the edges we need to be sharp, and everything else remains smooth as you see here. So we apply this subdivision surface. And when you see stuff like this, you don't want these lines. Do you see a line in between of this? This line doubles our polygon count, and it's not serving anything. If you delete this line, you do EX dissolve edges, you can, instead of that line, you can add 10 of these. You know, it's better. So it's up to you. I'm not going to do it. I love optimization way too much. And going to solidify, since it's a separate object, we can use modifiers on it separately, obviously. Only rim, I remember, Shift A, if it listens to me. No, it's Control A. Never mind. If you forget, just click apply. But you cannot apply it in edit mode. That's why it didn't work. It was Control A in the end after all. Select everything by clicking A, then U, then unwrap, and you have unwrap that looks like this. You scale it down and you move it to around. I don't know. Not the bottom part is always messy. I don't know, here maybe. And now you have your thing. And what you do with it is you do Shift D and you put like a couple of them, you know, around. Make sure you put just 2 and then you mirror it on the other side. So you do like this, or however you like. If you like placing, if this relaxes you, by all means, do it. But if you're low on time, just do mirror both sides. It will do good. You can join these two if you want, but you don't have to. So I just hover over it, I click L and I do Shift D and I get this. But also remember that to keep this off when you duplicate and when you move it around, otherwise it will move the one from its place without the need of what am I talking about? It will move. Look, I'll show you what I mean, but let me move this first. If I have this on and I do Shift D and I just leave it like this and then I do G, it will move. You see both of them, and I don't want that. So be careful. And now when I have this, I can do mirror modifier. Yeah, they're together. Mirror modifier, and it's going to be off. It's obviously going to not be perfect because the body is not equal on all sides. But you see this eyedropper thing? It will say what will it be mirrored based upon. And I want it mirrored based upon, I don't know, shirt. And it's still like this. And you do Control A, but you at least have them similar to the spot where you want them to be. So you just move them like this, you know. But at least they're equal on the side, and you saved some time. If you're doing low poly stuff, very low poly, like stylized comic stuff, you'll probably have everything mirrored anyways. So this will be very handful to you, very useful. And if you think they're way too thin, you can always widen them out. But I don't know, I'm okay with it. It's all right. And you want to obviously join it with the pens. And you want to double check face orientation once again. Always double check. If you do it here, it's 1 second. Later on, you have to redo everything. It's not worth it. So let's go into File, Import, and we want to import. You remember the body we used when we just started, which we pulled out of Outfit Studio. It was the body that was laying down. I called it Org for original. So you see, this is the original size and position we need to rotate what we have into. So look at this. So you select this body and you do Control I, and it will select everything that is not this body. You do Rotate Z 180, but before you do it, you need to make sure, I don't know if it's probably for you too, but you see this orange thing here. That's the origin point. It's the point where everything will rotate based upon. You see? If it's, I'll just pretend that it's not here, that it's somewhere else. So how do you put it here? You go into Object, and you go Set Origin, and you do Origin to 3D Cursor. And the 3D cursor is already in the middle of the world. This is the 3D cursor. If your 3D cursor goes around somewhere, you do Shift and S in the same time, and you do Cursor to World Origin. Let's say, I don't know, I've even forgot how to move it, and that's how little I use it. But if it's somewhere else, you just do Cursor to World Origin, and that solves it. So let's import everything back. Rotate Z 180. Rotate X 90, and you want to scale it down. So I just did S. So we're literally doing opposite of what we did in the very beginning. We want to make sure that it's somewhat, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's always going to be parts that go through, but the fitting is important. The size must be very close to what we originally have. Remember that. So this, I think something like this is okay. It's not perfect, but it is close to what I want. Maybe I'll fix it later, easy peasy. And we want to delete the body. And now we have this, what we made, in its shape, right? And we want to export it and export it as OBJ. I always export everything related to model that I'm working on in the same folder. If you're a lot more organized than I am, you can use separate folders, but when you make a lot of mods, when you make a lot of clothing stuff, it gets messy really quick. So it's, for me, the best practice is if you keep it in the same folder. So I want to call it exported full. I always call it like that because I have everything in one OBJ, so that's why it's full, and it's exported because it's in export format. This is what I call export format for OBJ when it's laying down. And we want to go into Outfit Studio. So Skyrim's Outfit Studio. Keep it open, and while we're at it, you want to go into, you remember where we converted all of our textures that were PNG into DDS. You want to go there and you want to select all of those textures that are DDS only. You don't want PNGs, and you want to cut this out. And then you want to go into your Skyrim folder. I have it on my desktop, and then I have a shortcut there so it goes faster. So you see, I have data Skyrim, and it takes me there right away. And you want to go into textures, and you want to find wherever your folder is, or make one, and you want to call it something like, I don't know, I'll call it tutorial. You can call it however you want. But remember this, you must remember the exact name of it and exact space, bars, everything that you use, because that's very important. So this is how it looks for me. This is a part that I used. Now you want to import the rest of the outfit that we made. So it's obviously not in NIC format yet. It's in OBJ. And let's find it. It's not here. It's in tutorial thing. And it's in, no, it's not texturing. It is export full. So this is the one that we use. And now don't be intimidated by this on the side. It's a bit still messy. We can organize it however you want. But okay, let's organize it. Let's see what is what, and then just export it and then continue. So look, you have low pants, for example. Everything is called like that, but not everything is that. But you see that this, by clicking here, you can see what moves from here, and you know what is that. So these are obviously pants. I'll just rename it, I don't know, leather pants. No, keep in mind that players that are using this, they will never see what is written here, unless they go into Bodyside or Outfit Studio. That's the only way they can see. In game, they don't see this. Okay, so this is hood. It's clear. So this is hood. What is this? This is belts. Okay, belt. What is this? It's a shirt. Shirt. What is this? This is a shemag. Shemag. And this is a necklace. Rename necklace. You can export this as NIF, but we're not done yet. Just in case some crashes happen, it doesn't mess us up. And where do you export it? You go into data folder again, and instead of going to textures, you go into meshes. So this is where it is for me, meshes. Under my name and tutorial. You can keep in mind that name it the same way you name the textures file. And I'll call this full. I will delete this part later. But now it's just there for convenience. So I don't have to rewrite everything every time when I do something. Okay, and in here, when you organize it, you can see clearly if something is wrong. You can have, for example, you do letter pens, and you remove it, and it removes hood with it. You know you did this wrong. Everything needs to be separate. Otherwise, if you have pens here and hood in the same slot, like you click this and it removes both, that means when player equips hood, it will equip pens too, and you don't want that. You just want them to equip one piece at a time. Okay. Now let's see. Before we get into the weighting part, we want to apply texture to this mesh. These meshes don't have textures yet. So look at this. So what do we do? Now you'll have probably people saying go into NIF and then change those things. No, you can do it here. It's simple. You go into pens, and this tells you how reflective it will be. You can go with fully black. If you want, you can go with gray. This, how bright it will be, it doesn't depend this much on this, although it does. But what it depends on the most is transparency of your normal map. We put it on 10% if you remember. And now let's see, specular power, I put it to 80. If this means anything, the higher this is, the lower the specularity is. I don't know why, but it is the way it is. And now what you want to do is you want to navigate to our textures folder, and this is where we exported all of our textures a moment ago. And you want to copy this path, so the text, it starts at textures. Copy, put it here, and you need to do slash, but on the opposite direction, not like not the one we usually do. And we're talking about pens here, and pens are where? Here they are. So I want to rename this, and by renaming I copy. I just click copy. And here it is. So I copy this entire thing, I put it here, and this will be our normal map. And I think they have, let's see, do they have M? Yes, they do. That means we need to put M map too. But it's not environment, but it is actually environmental mask. And I'll show you how this works later. We'll leave this as it is for now. Okay. Don't worry about this. This is not how it will look, but we can go something darker, maybe this color of specular. And click OK. So you see, it is a bit, but this is not what I want. It's still not what I want. But remember the specular. That you used. It's the second one, so we can use it in other parts that are same as the pens. So go back into pens, textures, copy this path, so we don't need to go back and do everything all over again. Select, we said second one, and put this to 80. And textures, and just smash this here. And you want to go and now find hood. So it's hood belt, copy. I just renamed it, right? And I renamed this last part. Let's see, do they have their M file? Yes, they do. But that M file is, it doesn't have to do with the same texture as the letter does, you know, like in general. I'm using the environmental map in pens to reflect the letter somewhat, or latex. But in here, if we cannot do it, because we have metallic part already there, and that metallic part is the metal buckle. And since this part is a hood part, it has nothing metallic on it, so I will just use diffuse and normal map. And this is my girlfriend just spamming me. And look at this. So we just applied it onto the hood. I will have a mental breakdown from this. Look at this. So this is hood. Let's go and continue with the belts. Belts are the next here, right? We do one by one. And you can clearly see here what is done and what isn't. So the belt goes on. Second one. Okay. Specular 80. We go back here. Now, we can just copy this one. It's already selected for us. It's the same one. I promised you this will be empty. So now we just continue on. Don't worry, if it's black, it's supposed to be black. If it's not black, you're in problem. The buckles. And let's go into shirt now. And but we must remember one thing. But okay, after we're done with everything here, so I don't distract you a lot. We said second one, maybe even first one, because shirt is just, I'll just do second one, everything same. 80, just for the sake of simplicity. But if I was doing it for myself, I would make shirt a bit, maybe even full black. But if you remember, it was a bit reflective, so I don't know. But let's do this here. And let's copy the part of a shirt. And right after it, we'll have Shemak too, so that is good. And shirt. Does shirt have? Yes, it does. Okay, we'll leave it here. So this is M, we said. We leave that. Oh, you see, this looks really nice. I really like this. I like the look. It is a bit modern, but it's still good. Now let's go to Shemak, and we do exact same thing again. So you see, now you see why people are not going through, when you go into mods and you want modularity, why people are too lazy to do this. Because they have to repeat the same thing like 20 times and they get bored. So they just do it the simplest way possible. They merge pieces together. Just because this part is more tedious than everything before combined. And we see everything is still looking good. If you want Shemak, I would go Shemak full black. Because I don't want it to be reflective like at all. Well, it's your choice. Maybe a bit. Maybe a bit, but maybe not. Who knows? I'll leave it like this. And we're not done yet. We have a necklace. And now comes the part for the necklace. I will leave necklace as fully white specular. You'll see why. And diffuse, we want to paste this, and the necklace, here it is. We didn't decide what color necklace will be yet, but I will teach you how. Now look at this. And yes. And now we must go back and we must see what will use environmental mapping and what will not. I'll show you. So hood, does it have mask? No, it doesn't. It will not use environmental mapping because it doesn't have this M thing. Pants, they do have it. You see? So that means we must use environment map. Click OK. Belts, I know they do already. Environment map. Shirt, it does. Environment map. Shemag, it does. I think. Environment map. Necklace, it obviously does. Environmental map. Okay. Now let's export this as NIF into our full .NIF file. Close Outfit Studio, but we're not done yet because the changes we make, they need to be done when the Outfit Studio is closed, basically, or that project is closed, that session of it. So we go back into meshes once again, and you go into, you find where your folder is, where you saved it, and where is mine? I forgot. It was called tutorial. Here, full NIF. Now look at this. This is a bit. This is a part I want you to pay very close attention to. Look, if you click on something here, we'll do from top to bottom. That's the safest way. You can even do it like this. You see these things here? These are all those objects that were here on the side, just presented in a different way. So we'll start from the top. The first one are the pens. Let's see. Pens. What do they need to have? They need to be environment. They have to have environment mapping. It will probably crash. Yep. This is why you save everything when you do in this thing. So let's go again. Leather pens. Here, environmental mapping. It didn't crash this time. So you click twice in the edge here and you get a little arrow. And then you select environment mapping. Then you do the same below it in shader flex 2. And you select double-sided and assume shadow mask. Shadow mask, it works for me. I think it has something to do with shadows. I always turn it on because when I don't, I sometimes even get normal map problems. When I do this, when I turn it on, I don't get those problems. So I always keep it on. Let's continue on. Next up, remember to save in case it crashes so you don't have to go through the tedium again. This is the hood. You see? Click here and now hood doesn't have environmental mapping, I told you, but what it does have is it has double-sided and assume shadow mask. You see what double-sided does? It tells you that the inside face is same as the outside face and it's not transparent. Very important. File, save. Although you can have transparency and two-sided at the same time. But you see, basically, it makes face two-sided. It's pretty simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Let's continue on. Belts. I told you, environment map. Because of the buckle, it has metal color. I have a feeling it will crash on this one, but I don't know. We do exactly the same thing. Assume shadow mask, double-sided. File, save. Because I know that the buckle doesn't have to be double-sided, but the belt does. Shirt. Remember to save. Remember to save, my friends. And let's continue on. We click here. What are we on? A shirt. Shirt does have environmental mapping. And it is both-sided. Remember to save. Shemag. Shemag still is... It still has environmental mapping, so we do that too. It is two-sided and it has a shadow mask. Now, necklace is not two-sided, but it is environmental. It has environmental mapping. And you might, I know you don't understand it yet, we can do shadow mask too, but don't do double-sided. There's no point of it. People can't see ever the inside side of this. And we're done with this part. I'll show you why we did environmental mapping. Look, if now we want to open the body slide and not the body slide, but the Outfit Studio. What you want to find is you want to go on the internet and you want to find something that is called cube map. What cube map is it's like a sphere or a cube, and imagine yourself inside of it. So wherever you look, you will see that color. You will see be it metal color or whatever. That's how it does. So it puts your object inside of a, I'll explain it in Blender and it will make sense. Let's say this is our cube map. It is not a cube, it's a icosphere. It's this big. And your metal is black. It will reflect whatever color this icosphere is, because this icosphere is cube map. That's how cube maps work. But only if it's black. That's why all of our things are black. So you want to find cube maps, you can find them on Nexus. I already have some downloaded here, and I don't know, I'll use gold. I know that my maybe necklace will be gold or silver or whatever. These are really good ones that I found. Actually, no, I will use steel. I'll use steel. Where's steel? It's obviously not. It is steel-like, but it's not the proper steel. I'll use this one. And I need to use something for the letter. And for the letter, I will use I need to find something that is dull and black. And I need to think. You can make your own even if you want. But you gotta find a tutorial on that. It might take some more time than I expect. So let's see, what do we use, guys? Something black or ebony maybe. Well, I will try with this one, then we change it. No, we try with chitin ebony. Copy. And you want to paste this into your texture folder where the rest of your textures are. My drive is full again, but you see that's why it's slow. So we go into Skyrim data, you go into textures, and you have to find where you saved all of your previous textures at. Something tutorial, but I'll just type it. Tutorial. Here it is. You want to paste it. And now look at the magic. So if you import your NIF now, and you still see it looks still amazing, but this does not look metallic to me at all. Now let's see what happens with metals when you apply actual environmental map to them. So we'll start from bottom this time. You can start wherever you want to, just remember to apply to all of them. Necklace, textures, and now we go into this part. We can copy this because it's the same path, and we remove this latest part. And I want to say, I don't know, it is fully steel, right? It's steel color. You can use gold, cube map, whatever you want, and you put it here. You click OK, and now you see it uses steel cube map. You see? And if you don't like the color of it, you can always go into your into Photoshop and you can edit this. Where is it? Necklace M. You can edit this, and instead of having it fully white, you can make it black, and it will change the how much of the color will be reflected here. I hope you understand what I mean. You just change the color. I told you diffuse map needs to be black, and this map needs to be black for it to fully reflect, and this one needs to be fully white for it to reflect. So where it's fully white, you just make it gray and it will reflect less. So it will not be as bright as on my end. And also you can put down not the opacity, but the specularity to something like this, and you click OK, so you see it loses the shininess a bit. Let's continue on. Shemak, it does have an environmental map. Let's copy this. We'll use chitin for it. It's chitin ebony. If it looks bad, we'll use something else. It doesn't matter. So instead of this, it is a bit too bright. It is definitely a bit too bright. It's not what I like. What we can also do is you can just turn off. You can just turn it off for it. Select default, click OK, you're good. You can just remove it from here because you can remove this too. It looks horrible on Shemak. It will look horrible on everything. We cannot use chitin. We need to use something else. That's just the excuse, but you see what I mean. We remove chitin. We don't need it. We want something that is gentle. I don't know. Quick sky, whatever. Actually, let's keep on with chitin. Let's see. I mean, indecisive, but it is the way I am. Let's continue with the shirt. We'll try with chitin. If it's not good, well, I don't know. We'll have to change our cube maps a bit, I think. Not the cube maps, but my brain is dead. Don't worry. Just copy the name from the other one. I'm just going back and forth. Cheat and ebony, this is the one. And why am I here again? Shirt. Okay. So I'm just copying, doing the same thing as with earlier. Okay, it is too bright. Look at this. I know some people will be like, "Oh, that looks like something you'll wear in disco," and you'll be right. you won't be wrong, but this is too strong for us. I think I know what the problem is. We need to go into Photoshop. We have way too strong environmental map. It is way too strong. Mask is way too strong. It is fully white. It cannot be like that. So if we want to open Photoshop, I'll show you how to fix it. That's what I think it is the problem, but it doesn't have to be. So when it opens, you want to go into your Skyrim data again. I think this will be a very long video, guys, but it is what it is. It was here and it was under tutorial, so I'm just loading these things. Nothing complicated. Let's start with the shirt because it's the one we're working on now. It will probably be white. You might think, oh, this is red. No, we're looking at this. And as I said, it's fully white. Going to edit, image mode grayscale, okay. And what you want to do is you want to add, no, not this. You want to go back into layers after you do that, and you want to do brightness contrast, and you want to put brightness, I don't know, down, contrast up. This will not be good. We need more. Oh, this is too strong. What if we do this, but we add multiply? Does that work? Multiply? No, it doesn't work. I don't know. We need to darken it somehow. You can use curves, you can use whatever you want. Curves. Yeah, let's try with curves. So you make it something just so it looks darker. Don't stress about anything. It's monocolor anyways. And you want to copy this so we can use it on others. Never mind. We'll leave it open. Just drag it around. Click save. And under same settings, same as everything. It'll take some time, but now it will be probably a lot darker if it did load. You see? Now it's a lot better. You see what I mean? See, guys? But it should be a bit darker still. This is perfect. This will be perfect for... I'll just Control J to copy it, so I have it. This one is perfect for pants, but I don't want it to be like that for shirt. Shirt needs to be a lot darker, something like this. File, save. Okay, let's see what happens now. It will be a lot darker, a lot less reflective. Yeah, that's better, if you ask me. That is a lot better. And let's see, what do we do next? We can do the same thing on Shemag, it will work now. So you go environment map, you do this one, okay. Yeah, we need to redo this. I chickened out of. You know, guys, it's all about trying and failing. We know that, Shemag and shirt, they use the same texture, so we can use the same mask. So the mask is also same. You see, they're perfectly same color. This looks wonderful. I love it. Let's continue on. Necklace is done. Shemag is done. Shirt is done. We go to belts. And belts, well, belts can be belts. We need to use steel because I'll explain to you why. This is probably a bit confusing to you, but I'll explain to you in a moment. Don't worry. We place steel. And we use this. We just do the path. And you see, but it's still too bright. This is way too bright. I don't like it. We'll need to also darken it down. But you see, when we do apply steel here, it's not applied to here. And where will this metallic color be applied to? Depends on what did you do, save your map as. So in case of belt, sorry, my eyes are itchy. Belt, where is it? Hood belt. M, this one, you'll see that only part that is white is actually the buckle part. And I told you, this is the buckle part. It's only white. Image, mode, grayscale. Okay, we can do something completely different. We don't need to copy the previous one. Curves, you don't want it to be way too dark, but not way too bright either. Something like this, I think. File, save. Okay. So it obviously has to overwrite your already existing one. Now let's see what do we get. Perfect. Okay, not perfect, but close. A bit brighter. Like this. Oh, I don't like this, where this hyperbola isn't the nicest. See, I'm very indecisive when it comes to things. File, save. Okay. Let's see. Belts. Okay. Ooh, I like this. I really like this. But you see, there's still these things. They happen because of the because of the normal map. I'm kind of happy that we made this metal and not leather like the rest. I think that was a good idea. We did shirt, we did this. Hood doesn't have it. I think it doesn't have it. It doesn't. But if you want it to have it, you can also make it. But we were supposed to do it earlier. You're probably like, why is it black and why is it not like this color? I don't know, man. I didn't think that far ahead. Let's go leather pants. And we want it to be chitin again. But as you know, we'll probably have to edit the color again. Pants. Now, what am I talking about? Chitin. We need to copy chitin, not pants. And you might be like, oh, what is this? I know. File, open, let's find the M. Okay. And now I said I want to copy, I like this one and this one. And I'll just, maybe you can even drag it. Let's see. Can you drag it? I think you can. Haha! But I forgot to select red only. And then image and mode and grayscale. Okay. But it's good. It works. If it works, it works. It already baked every change I made here, so it doesn't matter. It will work regardless. It gives me a bit less of chance to go back, but I am happy with it. I'm happy with the way it is. It's a bit, if it's too reflective for your taste, guys, what you can always do is you can always make it darker, as I said. Now we're completely done with this. We need to export it as NIF, and then we need to do weighting. Now what is that? Look, that's the part that is boring, even more boring than this one. But in here you see results, in there you don't see results until you go in game. But we need to sort this out at once. What do we want to do? I'll be not lazy and I will do more options, just so you can do how you like. So you want to delete everything except of the hood if you have it. So I only want hood to go into the head slot. And then what you want to do is file, load reference, and you want to load the head from your base game file. If you don't have it, you can find it in BSA extractor. This is a mod. I have to show you this. It's called BSA browser. You can find it on Nexus. And what it does is if you file open archive and you open, these are all of these files are from Bethesda. And they have them like locked behind this BSA format. And this tool lets you open this format and find the things that you need. So what we need is head, right? And you just, where is it? No, not head, female head. Female head. Those are two different heads. Head. Yeah, this one. You see this NIF one. You just right click extract and you extract it somewhere on your desktop. But I already did it 100 times before, so I don't need to do it again. You only need to do that once. Or until you mess it up and you have to do it again. You go into actors. You go into character assets, and it should be there. It should be there. Where is it? It's here. Okay. Why did this load? I have no idea, but I just loaded the head. And now, as you see, there are some issues with it that we know are there. And there's a lot of them, but we don't stress about it. There should obviously be a hole, and I should have thought about it sooner, but you can go into Blender, remove those vertices, and you'll be good. Or when you make them, you can just think about it and not be like me. It's completely up to you. Now I just use this tool, and I'm just making some space for the hair if people want to use it. And okay, if you don't want hair, you can put it anywhere you want. And now what we do is we select hood, and you go into bones, and you select this NPC head bone. And you make this as big as possible, and you put strength to max, and you just hold left click, and you just white painted your hood. It was that simple. Now, why was it that simple? Because female head only has 2 bones. It has head bone and it has spine bone, neck, right? And you want hood to turn when the character's head turns, right? So that's why we only need head bone. Now you remove this, and you just go to File. Oh, no, not yet. Hood, Partitions, and now you have to select the head. Not the head, but hair partition. So if you select hair partition, this means that when players will equip this hood, it will remove their hair. You see this in game with every hood by vanilla does this. If you don't want that, you want people to have their hair, you can make 2 versions of it. And how do you do it? You select, I don't know, how is that thing on the head called? Circlet or something, I forgot. Circlet. You can make it take slot 42, and then in Outfit Studio you select that one of these uses a long hair and one doesn't. So you have basically hair version and no hair version. You'll see. And now you want to go export to NIF, and you want to find the file where we already did everything. It's here. And then it was tutorial. How do I forget that? I am really turning into old man. So this one, it doesn't have _1 and _0 versions. Those are light and heavy versions because head is not impacted by weight. Lower neck part is, but the head itself is not. Now let's continue on. So we remove this and we import our full body again. And this time we do the same, except we remove hood and we remove pants, belts, shirt. We only leave shemagh and necklace. You can do them separately. You can do them however you want, but I will do them together and I'll make them zappable. So when people click on one thing, it will remove it or not, based on what they like. So in order for this to work, we need to load in CBB3BA ref. Now, why do we use ref version and not the real one? It's not this one. I think there is a ref version that has head too. I am pretty positive it did have it. Maybe it's... is it this one? We need to find it. Never mind, even if it doesn't, we can use CBB version. It used to have it. It's not unibody. Let's see. Obviously, if you have a... now you might think, what are you doing? Why are you thinking so much? Because I know that you see the body itself, it doesn't come up with a necklace, with the neck. Neck is part of the head. So I'm looking, is there a reference model that has head and head together? So I don't need to do wumble jumble like a crazy man. But it doesn't matter now. Let's select this. And let's put it down. There are obviously models that have it, and I know I have seen them, but when I need to find them, I cannot find them. And let's go here. I'm just expanding this so there's no clipping, you see. Oops, this is inflate tool. Don't overdo it, because every time you do this, you lose a bit of quality on your model, because it stretches or widens the texture, your model, and then the UVs, and then the texture and everything with it. So, just so you know. Okay. This is something I'm okay with, but I need to obviously apply thing to it, weight. And weight thing will be a bit more complicated here. What we can do is we can do it in 2 pieces, but I'll still double check once more. Is there a part with it? Because, you know, if you can do something simpler way, you do the simpler way. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Where is it? It was called ref. I know it was called ref. It's not this one. We tried it. Let's try it again. Maybe it works now. No, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. Let's import the head. Let's import the head again. I think we need to do it. You can even do hood as reference. It doesn't matter. We use hood as reference because it also has this bone. But no, we need spine bone. We don't need this bone. We need spine bone. It was the bone we didn't use there. Once again, using any chance I have just to check if it's there, just to save time. No, I give up on that. We need to do it manually. Let's find it. It was in actors, characters, character assets, and it was here, female head. Female head. Here. Okay. And you see, do you see the head part is red? It doesn't even touch this, so it's not dependent on it. What we need is we need spine. So we select spine and we select Shemag. And now we paint entire Shemag with red spine. And we can remove female head. And now we load in a reference for the body. And this is important. I want you to use a Unibook version here. And why, you might wonder, you can use ref whatever you want in your body. Because if you don't use this version and it falls down here in this area, it will bend and twist and fly around like crazy, and you don't want that. When it comes to a necklace, you see necklace fits perfectly almost. If you forget that this part exists, you can go into move tool as well and do this, but it stretches it a lot. Never mind, let's say it looks good like this, but you see it's very close to the body and there's no like any extra changes that need to be done. Just right click, copy bone weights, click OK, and it turns. You see the body, it has a lot of bones. It has a lot of bones, and those bones will be transferred to your necklace. And when you have area, you see this area which is impacted by a lot of bones. You see I see 1 bone, 2 bones, I don't know, 3 bones, maybe 4, 5, 6, whatever. So all of those movement of all of those 6 bones will bend this. So in ideal world, when you have something metal, you want to use it to make it use as less bones as possible, unless it has SMP and then it has its own bones. SMP has its own bones. It's like you all know what it is. It has its own bones and they bounce or fly up and down depending on when they touch the mesh. It would be this in our case. And now we want to go into slider, conform all, click OK. And if it allows you to save after this, that means we did a good job. If it doesn't, that means we messed up and we did a good job. But before we do that, we need to go into Shemag, partitions. We need to select slot 35 because we want this boat to replace the necklace slot. When people equip it, it will be in amulet slot. And let's say people want to turn off Shemag to only have necklace and turn off necklace to only have Shemag. If you're a good, decent modder that loves community, you will do it separately and then redo all of this again. If you're a lazy guy, like most of us, you have to just go here and click, where is it? New zap slider, and you call it Shemag zap, and you click OK. You do this one, necklace, and you do slider, new zap slider, necklace zap, and people will know what it is. So what it does is when people do in body side, they tick this button, it will do this. It will just remove it. You see, it will go to 100 and remove it. Even though you see it moving here, it's not moving. Now we're going to File, Save Project As, and you want to call it something that you'll remember. I'll put a notepad here and I'll just save it here so I know what I'm writing. Because you do this too, trust me, don't forget this. Because people, when they look for your things in body style, they will find one thing here and then search 2000 mods down there and they'll find the other part of your same set. So what do? You call it something that you will know people will find. And you call it, I don't know, neck, and you do 3BA. It's best practice in my opinion to leave the body type on the back. Some people do it in the front, it's up to you. And I'll call this necklace. And you need to find this path. I told you I will save this, but I didn't. But I will. Let's go into meshes. Meshes, I want to find it again. Apologize for the sound tutorial. And I want it here. So I'll copy this path and I'll put it here. And click to project and it will change this to how it's supposed to be. Now we copy all of this in Notepad so we don't have to remember anything. If we're not smart, we just write everything down. And you click Save. So we're done with this one. Now you want to close the bodies, close the Outfit Studio and open it again. You do this every time over and over again, because that's the best way to do it, to make sure nothing remains. If I was to continue working on that one again, I risk having to redo it all over again, and I don't want to do that. I would rather close and open again. Let's continue. So we did hood, we did shemag, we did necklace, and what's next? It's shirt. So we'll remove this and we'll select shirt. Shirt and pants are just so simple. Look at this. You load in. Now it comes to whether do you want a Uniboob version or not. For this type of clothing, I would recommend you highly to use it. So you find 3BA, Uniboob. You find all of these references on the Nexus. You just type it, reference, whatever version you want, you find it. It's easy. And this is a bit bigger shape than I would like, but never mind. Let's up it up. Turn this strength down. Up the scale. It's not perfectly fitting because we scaled it a bit wrong, but it doesn't matter. It was earlier problem. And this is how I fix it. You're done with this. You right click, copy bone weights. Okay. Slider, conform all. Okay. You don't need to do partitions because partition will already be 32. When you equip top piece, whatever it is, be it armor, cuirass, shirt, whatever, it will always come with the body. So that means we have to remove this body and use the most basic one that people use, because you don't want people to see non-textured version of body we just saw. You want them to use this version of body. You see? And you go into File, Save Project, and now you copy everything you did here and you just rename it this to shirt. Now you see, would you remember what did you use for method? And this is shirt and this is this. And you do to project, save. You're done with this. Now we close it again. And we go File, Import from NIF, Full. And now we did shemag, we did necklace, we did shirt, we did hood. And now I want pants and this to be together. So what do? File, load reference. You can use most basic body. You don't even need Uniboob versions for this. You select both of them and you up the size a bit and you do this just to, not too much, not too little, just exactly as much as is needed. And people will, you will not be doing this perfectly. You'll always have people saying, oh, there's a little hole here, and then they will complain about it and wait for you to patch it, and they already know and have videos on how to do it themselves. Look at this. Also, I am doing a wrong thing because I have mirror on both sides and both sides are different. So that's on me. So now I'm just making sure there's no visible like glitches. You see there's one here. here I need to out this part a lot. In here too, you see, it's not going to be perfect, but it cannot be disaster either. So we right click, copy bone weights on both of them, click OK, slider, confirm all, OK, and you want to delete this because this part doesn't come with the body. Body will be equipped with the shirt. And let's click pants first, and we want to use slot 49. Slot 49 is pelvis primary. You can use 49, you can use pelvis secondary, it's like 50 I think. But you must remember what you use. So we click here, apply, file, save project, we just copy everything again. And we call this pants. Pants, and you call this pants. That was simple. Okay, save. Now what you want to do is you want to close this, you want to go into body side, and now we want to generate all of those things. But before we do that, we will remove full because we don't need it anymore, but keep it in trash just in case you mess up everything. I forgot ob underscore tutorial neck. See how they're all together now, because so I just click on them and I click build. You all did this 1,000,000 times already. You know how it works. Shirt, neck. Did I do it on everything? Why are they only 3 parts? Oh yeah, because one was not. Never mind. So we generated everything. You see, it's all here, but we're not done yet because we need ground versions of them before we get into the creation kit. So when it comes to ground versions, you can use BSA browser again to get whatever ground object you can from the game. So it is, you go into the same thing, and in here you type in _go. Whatever you get, you export it into, you can choose any one. So just you can use Cuirass Go, Helmet Go, whatever you want. It doesn't matter as long as it's similar size to what you're making. So let's try with this. What I use is, I downloaded this one like ages ago and I always use the same. Remember to copy this part. I use this one. This was from Sun. It's also a modder. You guys probably know her. Yes. And now listen to this. This is very important. When you go with load outfit, it will load whatever this one had. So collisions, gravity, everything. It will load this onto whatever you import in. So if I import, let's say I go here and I import, I don't know, hood. You see the hood, this hood has the same properties as this thing because I imported this first. I mean, I loaded it, not imported. This was imported. So you never want to load outfit when you are working on it. You always want to go import, just so you know. So look at this. So you select hood, you go edit, remove skinning. So it removes all of the bones from it because if it's going to just fall on the ground, it doesn't need bones. And you go into edit, reset transforms. Then you click on this thing and you rotate it around, and then you do this little square and you squish it and you move it down in position. So you move it to like here. I don't know, if you don't know where the ground is perfectly, you can always click on this icon here. And now you can even remove this go object, it doesn't matter. Put it like this. Don't go way too low because it's going to fall through the floor if it's uneven. If there's a rock on the ground, it will go through it. So just leave it a bit off the ground. And this is our export NIF, hood go. You can call it hood go or go hood. Now what you can do is you can go again and use from import, or you can just go back and file load. Let's do it safe way. Copy this, load the box or whatever ground object you used again. File import from NIF and necklace 0. You might wonder where it is. It's Shem again necklace. Select both of them, remove skinning from them, edit, reset, transform, pull them down, squeeze them. This is the most simplest way. You can play around, you can make it, look special. You can even make entire objects for this, ground objects. So, because ground objects are something that people will see when they hover over your item in inventory, and they will see this in their inventory, right? When they hover over their mouse, they'll see it from top view, they'll see this. And when they drop it on the ground, it will also they will also see it. So if you want to be professional, you can be professional, make it in Blender from scratch, like the ground objects. But if you're lazy, you do it this way and it works. Copy this. We need to load our ground object again. File, import from NIF. And when you load object, it removes everything from the side, just so you know from here that was here before. So letter, pants and belt, edit, remove skinning, reset, transform. You see, it's all rinse and repeat. Everything, we're just clicking the same thing. I don't know, like this. Move it down. It's already good. Export as go pants. Let's continue. We load it again. Copy this. Okay, file, import from NIF. Paste our folder again. And now it's shirt left, right. It's for shirt. You must remove body. You don't want the body to be in your ground object. Edit, remove skinning, edit, reset. Not recalculate normals, but it doesn't matter. This is, you know what that is already. If you followed what I did in Blender, I did it a couple of times there instead of flip normals. So squeezing down, moving it down, removing this. It's good. File, export, NIF. I think I forgot something there, but I'll remember when it's too late. Shirt, and we're done with this. And now what you want to do is you want to open your creation kit. If you use creation kit a lot, there's a mod called creation kit platform extended, and it loads it a bit faster than the normal one. So if you're a person that likes your time, download this mod. Okay, so the very first thing we need is we need to click here on this little file or folder thing, and you want to load in Skyrim ESM. Why? Because in order to use things from basic game, we need to use database of the game. We cannot make our own database. I mean, we can, but it's not worth it. Because that means it's just overcomplicated. That means no keywords, no smithing, no anything. You need to do all of that by yourself. And if you do that, you will make a mistake. And you don't want to make a mistake. So you gotta obviously wait a bit till it loads. If you don't want to use this, you can use Creation Kit. You can find it on Steam, but you need to be careful because there's 2 versions of it, actually 3 versions of it. There's one for old Skyrim, there's one for Fallout, and there's one new one for Creation Kit for special editions. I don't know if Starfield has its own yet, but let's get back to work. So you scroll up in actors section, whatever, you find Armor add-on. And now you have to look for something that is closest to your item. I don't know, I always make light things, so I use letter clothing, and then people yell in the comment section. You know, after you do like 50 hours of making mods, no, not 50, like now it's 8 hours, right? But usually for some of you it will probably be hundreds of hours. You'll have people that will open your thing in this Skyrim special edition thing, and they'll say like, oh, you did this, you made it leather pants, you made it use leather cuirass, you did this wrong, and they don't even know what they're talking about. It doesn't matter. Don't be like that. Use whatever you want, and if people say stupid things, just ignore them. Let's get back to our work. So what do we have? We need to make sure that we use all of those that we made. So we have hood first. We'll start with hood. I always do 0_hood for armor add-ons. I would recommend you to do it too, because it will be easier to follow me, and you will not have to wonder what is what. So look, we said you need to untick all of this. And we said it's going to use circlet slot, right? But we'll make two versions of it. We'll make one without hood and one with hood. So this one first will be without hood, without hair. What am I talking? So you're going to biped models here, and it's female, right? If you have a male version, you go up here too for male, but we don't have that. So you want to edit this, and you want to import. My God, so many things. You want to import the hood we made. You click OK. OK. No, yes. And you can go duplicate it. We need to do this. 0. Type in 0 in search bar. And now you want to select 42 and hair. This one will be the one without hair. I'm sorry. Without hair. This is one without hair. You need to select hair and long hair. Whatever you select here is what will be used for this hood. So when you equip hood, it will replace hair, long hair, and circlet. Hood 1. I don't know. No, yes, it's the same model, but I'll call this one with hair. V hair. Just so I know. No, yes. And this one will just be hood. So you understand what I mean. We don't save yet, but you can if you want. Let's continue on. What else do we have? Leather. We have, again, leather cuirass, and you just redo it. Now let's continue on. Let's first import what we have. What is next? So we did hood. Let's do necklace next. You always want to import _1. These are... So 0 is extremely skinny, or when your weight slider is on 0. 1 is when it's on fullest, and in between is calculated based on these two, right? So if you have 0 and 100%, you can find 50% between, no problem. So it has two... I'm being boring, sorry. Let's continue. You want to select necklace, click OK, and you want to find amulet. It was slot 35. You remember we selected 35 for the necklace. Necklace and Ishem Ag. I know what it is. We didn't make it separate, but you can also do if you have a lot of time. But I'm trying to make the tutorial fit in the time that I have, although this will probably be like 2 hours long if it's not already. Let's continue. We just copied the same thing, and this time we will use slot 32, and we will call this 0 shirt. So I want to import shirt, and it's _1 shirt version, and it's going to be 32 slot. Okay. No, yes. I want to duplicate this again. Just type in 0 here. And shirt duplicate, and I'll just call it pants. Pants, and the pants were slot 49. I know it because every time I do it, I use the same biped, so it's easy for me. When you do it a lot, it will be easy for you too. Don't worry. And I forgot one more thing, which people will yell at me for, and it's if you go into shirt, first person will have to be same as shirt. So you load shirt 1 in both female and in first person. Let's continue. Now it will be a good time to save it. And before we continue, so you go File, Save. And this is, now you're giving name to the plugin. So I'll call OB Tutorial Marvelous. Save. And now if you, what was I doing? Armor. Are you going to armor now? And you type in letter here. And you find your cuirass. And it comes with its ID. You want ID to be 1, I don't know, hood. And you want to call it however you want it to be called in game. Now what you type in here is what people see in game. Tutorial hood. Value, how much will it be worth to traders, what enchanting does it have, what template does it use, how much will it weigh, 0.1, I don't know, will it be light? No, if it is selected none, that means it will be clothing. Armor rating 2, I don't know, it doesn't matter, you just do what you want. But what is important is that it's playable, so this button here, that it uses the right slot, which is slot for circlet, and that this thing here this thing here tells you what is it. So Armoradon is the NIF, right? So it was, what was I making? Hood, right? So it was this one. It used 42 with hair. This one was with hair, sorry. Tutorial hood with hair. And so you see I cannot import NIF anywhere because I imported NIF into Armoradon. So this just tells you, okay, pull it out of this Armoradon. Get the NIF from here. And that's what it does. And now you see this world model. This is what people see when they drop it on the ground or when they see it in inventory. I want them to see Go Hood. I want them to see this. Click OK. Click OK. No. Yes. Just duplicate it. So it's the duplicate. And now we just remove V hair. And you just take hair and hair long. And you're good. And that's it. And this is a hair version. Without hair version. You click OK. No. Yes. You save. Remember to save always. Let's type in letter again. So now we want to make sure that we do 1 underscore. Now what was next? I forgot. Let's see. Let's see here. So we did hood with here. A necklace shemag. Did I do that already? No, I didn't. You want to select amulet and 1 neck shemag necklace. It will be 0, it will be 1, 1. I don't know. This is okay. I wanted to use a ground object for the shemag. Necklace, go necklace. This one. Okay, okay, no, yes. Let's see next. I'll just copy it. Never mind. Let's remove this and let's import next thing. Pants. So pants were slot 49. These are pants. You see what I did? I messed it up a bit, but it doesn't matter because I didn't call this tutorial pants, and I didn't call previous thing tutorial, but I'll do it now. So edit. You want to edit it so it's ground object for pants. Click OK. Click OK. No. Yes. We're going back here and we're just calling this tutorial. Did I do it on the rest? I have no idea. Tutorial hood. This is good. Control S to save. We copy. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. One thing is missing and that is shirt. And shirt will be slot 32. This is one shirt. Tutorial shirt. Oops. No. Tutorial shirt. Everything same. Shirt 1. No. Ground object for shirt. This one. You see how it's flying a bit, but it doesn't matter. Click OK. OK. No. Yes. Filed. Save. And now, if people go in game, they can already equip it if they know how to use console. If they don't know how to use it, we need to make it craftable. And you go into constructible objects. This is also very easy. Don't worry. So you want to find something similar to what you have. So let's say a letter boots. Duplicate it. I always call this 3, and this will be. People don't see anything you do here except of what can they craft. So you scroll here all the way up to the top, see what you have. 3 hood. What you have here is what people need in order to craft it, and this here tells you where will it be crafted. So I want mine to be crafted at Smithing Forge. I'll remove all of the requirements for it, and I'll just click OK. No, yes. I'll just duplicate it again. And this will be one with hair, hood, hair. I just select it here. Okay. No, yes. It's just repetitiveness. It's very boring, but we have to do it. So neck shem. Okay. No, yes. Duplicate it again. And now we make pants. So we rename this to pants. Pants. Okay. No, yes. And we need shirt. I think shirt is the final thing. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Shirt. Okay. No, yes. file, save. You're done. Not yet. One more thing. So now, when you're done with this, we have our plugin and everything works in game for everyone. But there will be people who use 3000 mods and they will not be able to equip your mod because it's not an ESL. So you need to download this mod. It's called SSE Edit. You can find it on Nexus. It's like 20 megabytes to download. So you open it, and this thing here is also very simple. It's fast. It's very fast. So you click X on everything. And you can also do this in Creation Kit, but I don't know how. I didn't explore that much. Oh, I misclicked. Open it, close these things, and this is important thing that I don't know why it closes. It wasn't like this before, but it doesn't matter. X. Now in here you want to find your mod, and it was called Tutorial Marvels. It's this one, and you want to double click on it, and now it will load it just like it. This is basically Creation Kit. This is Creation Kit. That's what it is. This entire program, just a bit faster, and it allows you to do some things, but it's not as visually pleasing as the other one. Maybe to some people it is. But look at this. You see this when you click on it and you go in here, version. If you leave it at this version is for the latest update of Skyrim. I use this version, but a lot of people don't. Because people didn't update when the latest update was there. So if you use this version, they will not see it in game. So what they will need to use Backpack Compactor mod from the site. But what you can do is you just delete this number 1, so it's 170, and then you can use it and they can use it. And then you right click here, you go compact IDs for ESL. It says, it will say sometimes, okay, there's one thing, there's 3 things, sometimes nothing. And then you go record header and you go into record flags and you click ESL and you go file, save, okay, and you made your mod. Everything is done. So now you need to find a format on how can you export it, like how can you move it online, right? So what I usually do is I make a new folder on my screen and I call it, I don't know, however you want your mods to be called. I call it T. And then you want to make meshes folder. Meshes. Wording is very important. You must not make spelling mistakes here. Textures. And you want to find Caliente Tools. It will be here. Caliente Tools. You can just rename, copy name, and then just make it like this. Caliente Tools. Okay, so let's start with meshes first. You go into meshes, you go in here to meshes, you go into your file. So we copy name of it, we make a new folder with that same name, and then you find your thing. It's called tutorial for me. This is it. Now I go back, go into textures, I do the same here. Textures. It was here, oops. I need to rename it and save it under this folder name. Like this. And then I find tutorial, copy, paste it here. So everything's still here, that's good. And now we do it with Caliente Tools, or what you guys call body slide. So right click, copy the name, make a new folder with that name. Go into shape data. You want to copy shape data name, new folder with shape data name. You go to shape data and you find these latest ones that we made. You copy them here. You go back. In here you go back to. You go into slider sets now. I'm just copying the name. See, these are the only 2 folders we need from it. Slider sets. And you copy these 3. They will be OSP. And when you're done, you also need to copy the plugin, because the plugin is something that connects all of this together. Plugin is often at the top or at the very bottom. I forgot date modified. Here it is. And you just leave it here. And you zip all of this with WinRAR. Add to archive, zip, you call it however you want to, and it's good to upload. And you just go into Nexus and you upload it. And you get your downloads and likes and money and whatever. And that is it, guys. I hope you learned something from me, and thank you for watching this. It's been I think this latest one is a bit longest. Look at this, it's like 1.5 hours. But thank you for watching, and I really hope you finally make your dream mod. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.